Hi, how are you doing today? Dara here again with another video. And in this video today, I want to show you how I do remote podcasting with guests on my show. Aside from living during these challenging times of COVID-19, where people have to stay isolated and not mix with members of another family, especially in the UK where there's national lockdown at the time of this recording, and it might extend. We don't know what's going on, but hopefully it will subside very soon and we have to meet friends and family again. But right now we are at home and the show needs to go on. We need to get guests on the show, and probably even if I want to get guests on the show and they are international guests, sometimes I will have to travel to go meet them. That shouldn't be so with the age of the internet and all that. So if I probably want to invite a guest on the show from the US or Canada, or maybe even India or China or somewhere in South Africa or Russia, I do not have to go to meet them. So I want to show you today how I do the remote setup for my podcasting. And over here you see I have Google Meet. That's just one of the apps I use for this, because this is an audio podcast recording that I'll be doing today, and I'll have my guest joining me, my beautiful wife. It's an audio thing, so there will not be video for the podcast, but of course you can see my face in the one I'm showing you right now, in my face. So I have Google Meet open here, and I'll show you the software I use to achieve this purpose. Two of the software I use are the main one I use and the alternative free option that you can use. So I'll first show you the free options. So I use an app called Voicemeeter to enable the audio coming through the VoIP software, for example Google Meet, Skype, Microsoft Teams, to pass that audio and make it visible inside my audio recording software. And that is what I mainly do. So if I go over here to Voicemeeter website, so it's just voicemeeter.com, double E between the M and the T, voicemeeter.com. You are able to see you can have three options for download: the standard, the banana, and the potato. I mainly use the potato version because it's the more robust version, because I have multiple USB microphones. I got this, I got some lav mics, and I got this Microsoft Live Chat headset that I use also sometimes for recording. But today I will just be using the simple version, which will take my Samson G-Track Pro as an input, and also the audio coming from Google Meet, and use it for that. So if you go ahead and download this, finish the setup process, and then it will launch and give you an interface that looks like this. So as you can see, I've set my audio hardware to Samson G-Track Pro. I can see the audio levels going up and down. And the A and B here means A means the audio that comes over the hardware, okay, hardware audio, and B means the virtual audio. It means the audio that goes virtually into the software I'll be using, and that I'll be using Audacity. You can check out Audacity at the Audacity website at audacityteam.org/download. You can download that for Windows, Mac, or Linux. It's very free. And there is another app, mainly for more professional purposes now, called NCH Mixpad, and that looks something like this. This is what NCH Mixpad looks like, and I'll have that as an input here. The only thing I have to do is change the settings. You can check out NCH Mixpad in your free time, but I'll be showing you just the free alternative right now. So I got Audacity downloaded on my system. I've downloaded the Windows version, and I've downloaded Voicemeeter. So what I need to do next is actually get my guest on the show and start recording. But before I do that, I will need to configure my audio. So what I need to do in my Google Meet setup, let me go over to Google Meet over here. In my Google Meet setup, I need to go into my settings area, go over into settings, and then I'm saying my microphone should be Samson G-Track Pro. That's the microphone I have right here, and because I can use it multiple times in different software, I don't have a problem. So I use this as Samson G-Track Pro, and then my speaker will be Voicemeeter input. That's the inputs coming from the Voicemeeter software. You can see here, it's outputting to my Realtek HD audio. That's the one I plug into the audio jack of my HP Spectre laptop, and I get the headphone on. This way the audio comes in and serves me, and any audio I put in through that now can serve me, and I will be able to hear it in my ear. So let me actually do a test of that so you see how it looks like. Right, so if I go ahead and click this test button here, you will see the audio spike inside voice meter. You see, there's an audio spike. That means I can hear the audio in my ears and it can go into Audacity as a recording software. So I'll put this right over here and then bring up Audacity. So Audacity is recording software I'll be using. And what I need to do in Audacity here is to change my microphone usage, my microphone input, to voice meter output. That's the output coming from voice meter. So that is the one I would use here. And one thing I should notice, if I want to see how it works, if I want to be sure it works before I even hit record, I click on start monitoring. So this is taking my Samsung J-Track Pro, and if I go silent and click test in Google Meet, I should see something spike. So I'll go silent now. And the audio starts spiking. That means I can start recording normally. So if my guest starts talking, I will see that. But even before I hit record now, I will have my guests come on the show. My guest today is my wife on the podcast. So let me get her into the show. Just a moment now. Alright, so she'll be joining the show any moment from now. So all I need to do is just go here and set this as voice meter input, not output, input, voice meter input. The reason you're seeing multiple voice meter here is because I have the professional, well, the more elaborate version voice meter potato here, but I'm using just this one right here. Alright, so once this is ready, I can close this over here and wait for my wife to join on the show. Alright, so my wife is joining the show now. I can hear her, hopefully. Hello, baby.
Hi, can you hear
Yes,
me?
I can hear you loud and clear. Thanks for joining our podcast show today. You are a very wonderful guest today. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing great.
Great,
Thank you.
good. It's nice to have you on the show. And as you can see, she's speaking and I can hear her in the Audacity software. And once I'm ready to start recording, we'll just do like a 30-second demo recording here. And I hit record on my Audacity software. And I do all my intro to say, hey people, welcome to today's podcast. On the show today, I have my beautiful wife joining me. Her name is Mary, otherwise called Mary Agape. How are you doing today, Mrs. Oladapo?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Great. And how's the weather in London today?
Not that bad. I think it's 15 degrees today, so it's fine.
Oh, can we call that a warm winter then?
Maybe.
Right. So that's what it feels like to have a remote guest join me on the show. And then once I'm done with all the episode recording, I can do all my cut and joints later on in Audacity. There'll be another video. And once I'm done and I'm satisfied, I can stop recording and I'll do the post-production much later on. So that's how it feels like. So thanks very much for coming on the show today, my beautiful darling wife.
You're welcome, darling.
Yeah, thank you. And then
Alright, bye.
we can end the call or stay on the call if you finish recording and all that. But of course, for the purpose of today, I'll just end the call because it's Sunday and, you know, there's stuff to do. So thanks for coming. We'll catch up later.
Alright.
Bye. And then we'll finish recording the episode, and then I can do my editing now in Audacity. So I can maximize Audacity now and do my post recording if I wanted to. So I can blow this up, cut out all the places where I do not need. You can check out the Audacity documentation on how to do that. But I feel this is good enough, to be honest, for my ears at least. Let me check that out. Let me see. Set this as voice meter and check if this audio is good. And I do all my intro to say, hey people, welcome to this podcast. On the show today, I have my beautiful wife joining me. Her name is Mary, otherwise called Mary Agape. How are you doing today, Mrs. Oladapo?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Great. And how's the weather in London today?
Not that bad. I think it's 15 degrees today, so it's fine.
Oh, can we call that a warm winter then?
Maybe.
Right. So that's what it feels like to have a remote guest join me on the show. And then once I'm done, then I could go ahead to do file. Of course, I'll save the project so I don't lose it. Save project not the same thing as exporting. I know that already. I go ahead and select where I want to save this. I can save that in my documents and say podcast guests. And then once that is done saving, I can then go ahead and export this as MP3 or WAV. I normally prefer to do WAV for my podcast output, so I'll do export as WAV file. Then I finish up the prompt that comes up, and then I put where I want to put it. I think I'll just put it in the same folder. Then I can specify the encoding. I'll just use the default one right here, and then I'll click on OK. Then I could take this audio that I get out of this and put it in my podcast platform. For example, I use Anchor. You can check that out at anchor.fm for my podcast. You can set the artist name if you wanted to do all those nice things. I normally just do this to set the artist name. Okay, so I will say Dara Oladapo. Just in case someone downloads this, they are able to see the copyright info for this. So I set the title also. Album podcasts season 1. Actually, we're in season 2 of the podcast. Track number January. I'll set this as podcasts, and then I can even set this as my template if I wanted to, and then I put on OK, and then just take a couple of moments depending on the length of the recording, and my recording will be ready to view on my system. So let me show you where that is residing on my system. It's somewhere inside my documents, inside Audacity. Just trying to bring that up to view, and that's the audio file right there. It's about 7.68 megabytes, and then I could take this and now upload it into my podcast platform. That'll be another video where I show you how you set up your podcast platform, how it distributes to the other platforms, for example Spotify, Google Play Podcast, Apple Music, Amazon Music even, and the other podcast platforms you have out there. And that is how I do remote podcasting. For my recording software, the one I pay for, that's NCH Mixpad, it's just the same process, just that I do this on separate tracks. On one track I'll have my main microphone, Samson J-Track Pro, and then on the other channel, on the other line, I'll have the other guests come into the show. And if I have multiple software, for example Spotify playing music, or any other music playing app I have, it will come in as other tracks, and then I can mix and match them later on. But of course that is a little bit advanced usage, and I try to make it sound as professional as possible. That is why I use NCH Mixpad for that. But for free purposes, Audacity does it all for you. I can clean out noises by going into, I think, effects, noise. You can check out all this here. Probably I'll do another full tutorial on how you can use Audacity for setting up your podcast. And that's it, guys. If you like this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. It probably means if you're watching up on this time, you enjoyed everything I've been talking about. So please remember to give it a thumbs up. If you have any sort of questions concerning podcasting, your audio setup in a very free budget sort of way, you can drop your questions in the comment section below. I'll be sure to get to them as soon as possible. And of course, if this is your first time on my channel and you've not subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you get notifications when I post new videos on this channel. Till I come your way again with another video, I will say stay safe and enjoy the rest of your day. Goodbye.